Welcome. This is my 2024 full stack guide. So this is what I consider a pretty easy stack to learn and to start out with. And I'll show you how I go about creating it, setting it up, and then maybe even if we have time deploying it at the end. So for our front end, we're going to be using React with Typescript. For our API, we'll use Node with Typescript as well, and then we'll host that in Azure Functions. For our database, we'll use Azure Cosmos, and then we'll do this all in Visual Studio Code and keep it free for everybody out there. So created a little sample project here. Go ahead and clear that out. I'll go ahead and share this markdown file with everybody so you can follow along. We're going to go ahead and create a directory here. And as you can see, if I refresh, it created this folder over here, and then we'll go ahead and CD into that folder. You can name this anything you want. I'm just going to name it example project for now, just to keep it simple. And then we're going to go ahead and use Vite, create a React application with Typescript template. So we'll go ahead and let that run. And then it tells us to do a few things here. So we're actually going to do those, all three of those. So we're going to go ahead and CD in the front end. And then we're going to go ahead and run npm install. npm I. And then we'll start the server with npm run dev as well, as soon as this is done. So now we have our front end running. We'll go ahead and launch that just so you can see it working. Just a basic React app with Vite. Go ahead and shut that for now. I'm going to go ahead and open a new terminal here and leave my front end running. And then we're going to go ahead and set up that back end. So I'm just going to CD into that directory that we just made. So CD into example project. Then I'm going to go ahead and make a new folder. And we're going to call it API. I'm going to go ahead and CD into the API folder and then run this func command to create a new Azure function. We'll let this install. So while this is running here, this command right here does require Azure function tools to run. So you will have to download this package before running this command. This is just creating an Azure function inside this folder that we can deploy to Microsoft later. So it looks like that is done. We can go ahead and npm start that as well to run it. If I refresh the file directory over here, you can see that we have an API folder, and then we have a front end folder. Go to that front end folder, we can see our React project inside. We go to this API folder, we can see our function app as well. So this is running. I think I had Postman. We can just open Postman and then run this. We get that hello world. We see that it was triggered. So it does look like our API is set up correctly. So there we go. We have a full stack application already created. We can go ahead and stop our backend, and then we could CD out of this folder and then open this in Visual Studio. I can stop my front end as well, just to show you guys I'm not lying. Then we do have a project here with our API and then front end. In Visual Studio, I kind of like to set it up like this, where I CD into front end and then npm run. Dev. Open a new one over here, CD into backend. CD into API, sorry. And then npm run start. I'll run my backend. What's that example? API. using the wrong URL. And there's our hello world for our backend. Easy way in VS Code to kind of deploy this, if you are signed into GitHub, is kind of to initialize repository. Go ahead and commit all. And then we can publish this. If you are signed into GitHub, you can just choose to publish this directly to your public profile. And then we can open in GitHub. And we can see our application is published here. I'm going to go ahead and go into the Azure portal. And since we are flying through this, I'm going to set up a new project here. So we'll go ahead and create a new resource group. We're going to go ahead and create that. Enter this. We're going to go ahead and create a new static web app. You can do this all through the CLI. I just find it kind of easier to do it through the interface for the first time. So I'm going to show you guys here. I named this SWA for static web app, and then group, and then test group, kind of the same as the resource. We're going to keep it free, and then we're going to select GitHub, and then select that new repository we just set up, and then main. We do have React, so that is selected. Frontend is selected, and API selected. The one thing we do have to change is this is called dist instead of build. And then we can preview this file. And because, yeah, everything looks good here. And we can go ahead and create. We do have to, I believe, change one thing in our project. So if we go to this front end folder and we go to our package, we are going to add a new line here and called engine. We are going to make it above node 18. And with that, we will restart this to verify we didn't break anything. And we are using node 18 because if we do not default that, it will use 16, and then some of our packages will not run properly when we deploy. So I will go back to GitHub. Sorry if I confused everybody there. So we were on Azure. We did deploy our project. I'm going to go to the resource just to show you. Here is that front end site. So congratulations, you built a new site. And then if we go to our GitHub, we can go to our repository and go to actions. And we can see that this is running. So this is running because, sorry, let me backtrack. This is running because Azure added a new file to our repository, this YAML file, which is a build pipeline for Azure, Microsoft. I don't know what to call it. It's kind of cool. You can drag this around. So I am going to show you that file so we can after you add this change for the edit, I am going to push this. So add the changes and then go ahead and commit and then sync changes. And then also I'm going to sync this. Just push this. So as you can see, it did push and pull. So I do have my YAML file here. It did ask me if I want to install this GitHub Actions extension. This is kind of a good extension to use. We'll install that. That will fix some of the red squigglies in this file. In here, you can kind of see we declared our front end path where it's going to be deployed. We declare our backend path where it's going to be deployed, and then our build folder, which is dist. You can kind of verify that by building your front end project. So if I npm run build here, I will actually build this project, and you see it puts it in the folder called dist. And this is our final build for the project. So when we deploy it, we want to make sure that Microsoft is looking for this folder. Cool. So we're going to go ahead and go back to our GitHub and just double check that this one finished screen, which looks good. And then we'll go back to our website, refresh, and we do have our React application. So there you go. Deploying a React application in 2024 with a Cosmos, no Cosmos backend yet, but Node API. We did want to add a Cosmos database to this. Could add it to this resource group. Right here. So I would go here, select create Cosmos, and then select this NoSQL one. I will save this for another video though, because this does require some more security settings, and I can't share the secrets with you. So we'll stop it there for now, and we have our React front end running with our back end fully deployed in Azure. So hope you guys like that. I did add in here, if you didn't want to use VS Code, there are ways to deploy it to GitHub using the terminal. And I'll go ahead and share all this with you guys. Thank you so much, and follow for more.